Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, okay, so my friend texted me last week in a full panic. She said she'd just gotten her biological age test results back, and apparently her cells are 8 years older than she is. She's 42. She spent the whole weekend convinced she was basically already 50.
Right, and that is a completely understandable reaction, because these tests are being marketed with extraordinary confidence right now. But here's what I've learned. The science behind them is genuinely fascinating and genuinely misunderstood, often at the same time.
Which is exactly why we're talking about it today. Telomeres, biological age clocks, longevity testing, what does any of it actually mean? And more importantly, should you spend $200 finding out?
Spoiler, the answer involves a lot of nuance, but we'll get there.
So let's start at the beginning, because when I first heard the word telomere, I genuinely thought it was a brand of camera. Y'all, I had no idea.
So, telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Every time a cell divides, those caps get a tiny bit shorter.
And when they get too short, the cell basically stops working properly.
Exactly. The cell either stops dividing, which is called senescence, or it dies. The foundational research here goes back to Nobel Prize winner Elizabeth Blackburn, who shared the 2009 Nobel in Physiology or Medicine with Carol Greider and Jack Szostak specifically for telomere research.
Nobel Prize level stuff. That's not fringe science, that's the real deal.
Genuinely rigorous. And what Blackburn's work showed is that telomere length is one marker of cellular aging. Shorter telomeres in certain cells correlate with older biological age and higher risk for some diseases.
Okay, but here's the thing though. Correlate with is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, right?
Brilliant point, Emma. Correlation is not causation. Shorter telomeres are associated with conditions like cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and cognitive decline, according to research published in journals like The Lancet and Nature Aging. But they're one signal among many.
So then where do these consumer biological age tests come in? Because I feel like every other wellness influencer is posting their real age results right now.
Right. So there are now several commercial tests on the market. Companies like True Diagnostic, Elysium Health, and LifeLength all offer versions of biological age measurement. The more sophisticated ones use something called the epigenetic clock.
Okay, epigenetic clock sounds incredibly sci-fi. What is that?
So, your DNA itself doesn't change much, but the way genes are expressed, switched on or off, does change over time. These patterns are called epigenetic markers. A researcher named Steve Horvath at UCLA developed the first reliable epigenetic clock in 2013, published in Genome Biology.
And the idea is that these patterns age in a predictable enough way that you can estimate biological age from them.
Precisely. Horvath's original clock and subsequent versions like GrimAge and PhenoAge can actually predict disease risk and mortality with some statistical reliability. This is not pseudoscience, it's a genuine research tool.
But, and I feel a big but coming.
A substantial one. These clocks were developed in research settings using large population datasets. When you take a commercial test, you are getting a snapshot, one measurement, from one tissue sample, usually saliva or blood, at one moment in time.
And our biology is constantly changing. That feels important.
It's crucial, actually. A 2022 paper in eLife by researchers including Morgan Levine, who pioneered the PhenoAge clock, explicitly cautioned that single measurements have high variability. Your biological age score can fluctuate significantly based on sleep, stress, illness, even what you ate before the test.
So my friend who panicked all weekend, her number might look completely different in 3 months?
It might. And this is where I think the wellness marketing around these tests gets genuinely problematic. They're sold as precise diagnostic tools when the research community itself uses them as population-level statistical instruments.
Okay, but I want to steelman the other side here for a second. Because I actually think there's something real about wanting to know where you stand. Like, is there a version of this that's actually useful?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't want to dismiss them entirely. If a test motivates someone to meaningfully examine their lifestyle, that has genuine value. The research consistently shows that behaviors like regular aerobic exercise, quality sleep, not smoking, and managing chronic stress are all associated with longer telomere length.
Let's dig deeper into that because I think this is where it gets practical for our listeners. So, if the test just confirms you need to exercise more and sleep better, what's the actual actionable takeaway?
Right, let's unpack that. A 2017 study by Larry Tucker at Brigham Young University, published in Preventive Medicine, found that highly active adults had telomeres corresponding to about 9 years younger biological age compared to sedentary adults. That's significant.
9 years, that's not a rounding error.
Not at all. And on sleep, research from the University of California, San Francisco, led by Arik Prather, found that shorter sleep duration was independently associated with shorter telomeres. We're talking less than 7 hours being a real factor.
Y'all, this is the part that always gets me. The basics, exercise, sleep, stress management, they keep showing up as the heavy hitters in literally every topic we cover.
Because they keep being validated by the evidence. And honestly, you do not need a $200 test to tell you that chronic stress and poor sleep are aging you faster. The research already says that clearly.
Okay, so here's my genuine pushback moment. I talked to a friend who's deep in the longevity space, and she said the real value isn't the number itself, it's tracking changes over time. Like, is your interventions actually working? Does that hold up?
It's a more defensible use case, honestly. Using serial measurements to track trends is closer to how researchers actually use these tools. But even then, the signal-to-noise ratio is still noisy enough that you'd need multiple consistent results before drawing conclusions.
So one test equals conversation starter, not medical verdict.
That is exactly the right framing. And I'd add, if you do want to explore this, please talk to a physician or a certified longevity-focused clinician who can interpret results in context, not just a wellness app dashboard.
Speaking of which, for anyone who wants to go deeper, we'd love to keep bringing you this kind of evidence-first content. So if you're finding value in episodes like this, please like and subscribe to The Wellness Rhythm Show. It genuinely helps us reach more people who need this kind of grounded information.
It really does. And it keeps us motivated to dig into the research so you don't have to.
Now, from another angle, David, I want to ask about the equity piece here, because these tests are not cheap and the longevity space in general feels very affluent.
This is something I think about, and I'll acknowledge my own position here. Access to advanced longevity testing is absolutely skewed toward people with economic privilege. And the frustrating irony is that the biggest drivers of accelerated biological aging, chronic stress, poor sleep, limited access to nutritious food, and safe exercise environments are disproportionately concentrated in lower-income communities.
So the people who might benefit most from this research have the least access to it.
Which is a genuine public health concern. Researchers like Arlene Geronimus at the University of Michigan have studied what she calls weathering. The hypothesis that chronic exposure to social and economic stress accelerates biological aging. It's sobering work.
And it puts the whole optimize your telomeres conversation in a very different context.
Exactly. The individual optimization framing can obscure really significant structural factors. Both things can be true. You can make meaningful personal lifestyle choices and acknowledge that systemic factors matter enormously.
Right. Here's what I've learned from covering wellness for years. The things you can actually control, your sleep, movement, how you manage stress, your relationships, those are worth focusing on regardless of what any test says.
And the research supports that framing completely. A 2020 review in Aging Research Reviews confirmed that what they called lifestyle medicine approaches consistently outperform any single biomarker intervention for healthy aging outcomes.
Okay, so if you're taking one thing from today's episode, here's the thing though. You don't need a biological age test to start acting on the things that genuinely protect your cellular health. Exercise regularly, protect your sleep. Find ways to genuinely manage chronic stress. That is the evidence-based longevity strategy, full stop.
And if you do choose to try one of these tests, treat the number like a weather forecast. Interesting information, with real uncertainty built in, not a verdict on your fate. The biology is real. The consumer framing around it needs a healthy dose of skepticism.
Y'all, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We genuinely love digging into this stuff, and we love that you trust us to be your informed friends on the complicated wellness journey.
As ever, we'll keep reading the research so you can spend your time actually living well. Subscribe if you haven't. It's, as Emma would say, the sensible thing to do.
He said sensible. That's practically effusive from David. See you next time on The Wellness Rhythm Show. This show is part of the VoxCrea.AI system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
go to VoxCrea.AI and request a sample episode.